Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the final game of the Super Round. Hurricanes taking on the Reds. Now, so far, we have seen some dominant performances from New Zealand sides. We have also seen some Aussie upsets. I feel like this one could be a good mixture of both. Could be a high-scoring game. In fact, maybe the highest scoring that we do see over the weekend. And currently on the table, the way that it sits after their performance in their last game up against the Brumbies, the Chiefs are at the top of the bunch. That points differential of plus 38. The Blues in second, but the Hurricanes, if they win this game by only a margin of 9 points, they will get themselves to top of the table at the end of round one. They can also, of course, win by more. Getting themselves that bonus point would propel them right up to number one with a point in their favour. But looking through at the starting lineups for these two sides, definitely be on a lookout for this Hurricanes backline. Geordie Barrett in the midfield alongside Billy Proctor. Then Morby, Kenny Naholo and Ruben Love there as the back three. Then in the Reds lineup, speaking of the Reds, they have just kicked off this game at AAMI Park. We are ready to go for the final match of the Super Rugby Super Round. And they've already got the penalty after only 10 seconds. And at this game, the Hurricanes. But the players to watch out for, Alex Hodgman, of course, ex-Blues man. Tate McDermott at 9. He's going head with Cam Roigard, which I think will be a very entertaining battle. Vuni Valu out on one wing, Jock Campbell out on the other, and Jordan Petaia slotting in at 15. Speaking of Jordan Petaia, just kept the ball in the field of play and stops the Hurricanes from getting themselves a lot of territory. Hi, Olin Hamish, up the Canes and go the Canes, says Christopher and Paddy. All available now for the Hurricanes. In a position going to the short side. Already 50 seconds in. And this Super Rugby round has flown by. I think it's because we've had 2 games on each day. Knock on from a Samoa to the advantage now in favour of the Reds, who's slinging out wide. Brilliant pick up there from Josh Fluke. Paisami has to play halfback. There will be the knock on, but they are going back for the initial knock on from a Samoa. The Reds will have the scrum feed. This game's a pretty tricky one to predict because we've just seen the game take place between the Brumbies and the Chiefs, and I thought that game would be split by maybe 5 to 7 points, somewhere around there. Not 30 plus like it was. And hi, Irish Bro, says Michelle, welcome in, mate. If you are doing well. Also, I should mention a few different games confirmed in terms of the sevens. We are going to be covering them tomorrow on the channel, of course. Anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got Super Rugby next weekend. Six Nations also making its return. Ball about to be fed in by Tate McDermott. It's now in on the halfway line. Massive push from the Hurricanes. I'm not sure how they didn't get the penalty there. I think the Reds did extremely well to keep their heads down and keep that scrum bound. That time it will be the penalty, not rolling away against Cam Roigard. Got stuck underneath, tackling McDermott. Argentina lose their winning streak. They certainly do. We saw Fiji knocked out by Spain. So Spain, for the first time ever, through to the semi-finals. We saw Great Britain, who were huge underdogs, take out the Australians. And then we saw France get themselves the victory. I'll be honest, I feel like France at the moment, they are probably the team to beat of the sevens. But then saying that, Ireland might be a decent shout as well. Out throw for Matt Faisler, just outside of the Hurricanes 22. Well claimed there by Ryan Smith. McDermott goes across to Fluke. Bounce past to Hunter by Sammy. Nice jacket, Hamish, bro. Says Michelle. Yeah, it's cooled down a little bit here in New Zealand, so I decided I'd put on the hoodie rather than just the shirt. Our Reds by 30 points. Says Pickle Sandwich, okay? And what is your actual prediction? Pickle Sandwich. To be fair, they've looked all right throughout this first little moment, and they did beat the Waratahs by about that 15 mark, I think it was. We're going to see here in their points differential. They managed to beat them by 18, sorry. It's going to be kicked into touch by Josh Fluke. Our Hurricanes have got themselves the line out. Got Canes by 19. Says Pads ablaze. Oh, that looked a bit high. They're from Caleb Delaney. I hope the Reds smoke the Canes. And my channel viewers going up every video on live stream. Says Brandon, good stuff. Now off the back They've gone to Peter Lakai. Does seem like a future talent for the Hurricanes, of course. Also had the opportunity in the under-20s. Current temperature, Hamish, bro, at the moment, like probably 13 degrees or something. It's not actually too bad, but yeah. It's a bit cooler in the lounge. And like the video, lads, get this man's channel rising. Says Pickle Sandwich. Now, Ruben Love. In fact, sorry, that time it was Brett Cameron. Now Love with the quick hands. Out wide to Josh Morby. Just short of the line. But around the short side, Ruben Love scores it. And another New Zealand side strike first. The Crusaders did it. The Chiefs did it. And now the Hurricanes have done it as well. Awesome broadcast, bro. Watching from Vanuatu, go the Canes. Says Greg Barrett. So welcome, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. What is the time in Vanuatu at the moment? I think you guys are a few hours behind New Zealand, if I'm correct. But yeah, hopefully the weather's nice for you. All the Super Rugby games, one benefit being in New Zealand or anywhere in the Pacific Islands, it's the games kick off at decent hours rather than being in the middle of the night like the Northern Hemisphere games. But yeah, hang on. I think it is a try, but Ruben Love's thigh was relatively close to that touchline. 4:30 p.m. Says Greg there. Okay, so 2 hours behind New Zealand in that case. But we have got a lot of Super Rugby coming up on the channel, so be sure if you haven't already to hit that subscribe button. Now, Brett Cameron to line up this kick. It will be right from the touchline. Are you covering any sevens tomorrow? Not men, women. Says Brandon, I think we've got a mix of both that we will be doing on the channel, but that one's coming round nicely for Cameron. Just actually came round a little bit too much. Misses to the left-hand side, and the score will remain at 5-0 to the Hurricanes. But Billy Proctor, fantastic offload and quick hands from Ruben Love. And yeah, very good awareness as well from Josh Morby to go for that risky offload to Ruben Love on the short side. Working on the theory that if the Reds were to get the interception, there wasn't actually anywhere that they could really go. Isaiah Walker-Leawere gets lifted up to claim that kickoff. Roygar rolling this one back. And hello, says Helene. Welcome in, mate. You are doing well. Morning, everyone. Kiwi lads. Hamish looking good. Says Ruth there as well. But nicely claimed by the Reds. Off the kick, Peter Lakai went for the ball. Did have his hand just on the turf. Hamish, question for you. When last time you on YouTube? As in, like, watching videos. It's been a while. Which is really bad, because, of course, seeing as I do a bit of the YouTube, I should be keeping an eye on what else is happening. But honestly, like, the last time I got to sit down and properly watch, like, a YouTube video was probably a good month ago. Nice atmosphere, cold and nice breezy evening, Hamish, bro. I like this atmosphere that now you describe it, says Michelle. It's going to be overthrown by the Reds, but it doesn't actually cost them. In fact, Tom Liner spins out of the tackle attempt of a Safa Moore, if you can even call it that. I don't think he wrapped much of his arms at all. But 10 metres out from the try line now for the Reds. Short ball to Harry Wilson. Xavier Numi. Oh, he's hit his head hard on the ground. It looks like he's going to be all right, though. Josh Floyd puts the ball out. Hunter Paisami was looking for it. There's going to be the knock on from the Reds. I hope you had some shout-eye, Hamish. It was super long commentary yesterday. Says, Roof, I had a lot more sleep than I wanted to because my alarm sadly didn't go off. So we missed about 3 or 4 live streams that we were going to be doing on the channel, which was very frustrating. But my phone is getting very old, and I guess it's getting close to not working anymore. I might have to go old school, get like a digital alarm clock, or like buy a rooster or something. Hamish, do you think Samoa should have done better? Is it just me? I mean, they were in a tough group again. Samoa never quite catch a break in the sevens, but they did have to try and beat one of those sides, and they just couldn't do that. I'm amazed at the Bulls. They thumped those Clueless Stormers big time, says Roof. Yeah, it was a pretty one-sided affair. I was actually going to be commentating that one, but instead I was actually asleep. Now, big scrum from the Canes against the feed. No, sorry, that was actually their own feed, but that is a massive shove from the front row. Xavier Numia, Safa Moore, Tyrell Lomax. Hang on. 6 Black had his hands in the scrum. That will be TK Howden. So that is actually going to be the penalty against the Hurricanes. Yes, they've planned it by a rooster. Says Defunct Fish and Chips. Says the house. I am sleep more important than live stream. Well, it is in a way, but I can sleep during the week. Is normally the way that I work on it. Although I know that it's only week 2. Do you think, or who do you think will be the semi-finalists in Super Rugby? So just from the first 2 weeks, I am thinking Chiefs, Blues, I want to say an Australian team, but like, don't get me wrong, the Waratahs did well, but the fact that they lost to the Reds makes me wonder whether or not it was just that they did extremely well that week up against the Crusaders. I think the Satyrs will be somewhere close, but maybe not in the semis. I think they'll get knocked out in the quarters. Now, nice pass at the back line. Good stepping from Geordie Pataya. Could end up with a sevens job if he's not careful with steps like that. Now McDermott tries to go through. It's dropped by Isaiah Walker-Leawiri. Hamish and Jap, mate, those Brumbies got outclassed. They certainly did, and sorry we beat you in the cricket. That's all right. We've got another game just around the corner, and I'm actually going to be going to that game. So hopefully it goes all right. Hey, guys and gals, I'm a Brew Hamish, taking off the Smooth Operator shirt. It's on underneath. It just got a bit cold, so I thought I'd go with the hoodie instead. An update on my wife, new job here, work time 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. and she done her first week and boss was very happy with her. Says Brandon. Ideal. Happy wife, happy life, that's the saying. We have got the Lowell, says Nuzzy Williams. And also Islanders making the semis. We'll see. Top 8 would be a good goal for the Landers, I think, for the get-go. Now thrown in. Ryan Smith claims it 5 metres out from the line. The Reds having a lot of the ball. Matt Faisler almost went over the line once again, just short. Brilliant defence. Harry Wilson, though, has got in for the try. Since he was snobbed by Eddie Jones, that man seems to have stepped up his rugby to even more of a next level than it was already on. As long as Hamish has his mustache on, it's okay. That's the most important thing. The shirt next time. Says Ruth in there as well. Happy Dragon, happy Castle. I've never heard that one. Is that a quote from Shrek? No, that is the dragon. That's a bit weird when you think about it, how Donkey and the Dragon and Shrek were kind of doing a bit of the naughty stuff. Because, like, that's kind of like, they had little baby dragons, didn't they? But how's that work? That's not biology, is it? I don't know why my brain got sidetracked. So next time you go to pizza, you might see her in Northland. So yeah, the Brandon and chili bin. There's the house. Very handy, a chili bin. Got to have one of those if you're out in a field with some bevies. It's going to be kicked over from Tom Liner, making the score now 7 points to 5. Jeff Wilskins needs to get out of here and let Hamish take his job. Says Marco, as the Terminator said, I'll be back. That's Hamish's motto. Says Roof, and according to Jeff Wilson, Lander's got a massive chance. Isn't he a Highlanders ex-player, though? So, of course, he's going to back his boys. It's like John Kerwin. He's going to back the Blues every single year, even if they do badly. And forgot my manners. What happened to the Satyrs, Hamish? Hamish, that's my name. How did I mispronounce my own name? It's pretty bad, isn't it? Yeah, they didn't play well. And then they almost fought back, but it was just too little too late, unfortunately for them. Now 40 metres out. Big shot coming in. Counter ruck is good from the Hurricanes, and Cam Roigard now trying to burst his way through. Throws the pass while still being held up. Forgot my comment. Or forget my comment. Concentrate on the footy commentary. Says Greg. It's just the first time I've heard it, that's all. 13 minutes in. Geordie Barrett passes short to Ruben Love. Red's getting out of that breakdown. Mainly Fraser McWright. Hello, my man. How you doing today? Says Jeffrey, doing very well. I got a little sleep this morning, Irish. Certainly deserved. I was really annoyed, though, when I woke up because my goal was to get 30 minutes and then my alarm didn't go off. Oh, strip there from Tate McDermott, and he's ripped it away, but it is counted as a knock-on. So we're now a Hurricanes scrum. Better luck guy getting put under a lot of pressure early on. Manly 36, Rabbitohs 24. Says Jeffrey there. Cam Roigard versus Tate McDermott in the head-to-head department. In 2023, we saw 9 tries being scored by Cam Roigard. Okay, you think it's a coach issue or dynasty is over? I think it's the fact that they went with two 20-year-olds as their 9 and 10 combo. And I don't care how much people say that doesn't matter. That is a big factor in trying to get that backline going. David Havili, he had an absolutely shocking game. He was responsible for 2 of the Waratahs' tries and also probably cost his own side 2 tries in the process as well. Now scrum feed for Cam Roigard and the Hurricanes. Is fed in. They've had a strong scrum so far throughout the first 15. Trying to get themselves another penalty. They're being told to use it. Roigard goes across to Morby as the first receiver. Now looping around Fergus Burke. I think short ball from Proctor. Nice, says Mr. Orlin. We have got there. Who do you think is going to win? Says Lachlan. I think the Hurricanes. I know the Reds at the moment are in the lead, but I think that the Hurricanes have just given away the penalty, so it is the Reds' ball. Roigard is a better player is the better player with a big future with the ABs. Exactly right. I actually have a Hurricanes kit with the number 9 on the back, and yeah, I think he's going to do very well in the future. Cam Roigard, I was disappointed that he didn't get too many opportunities for the ABs late. But yeah, Broncos Roosters I think is still taking place. At the moment, looks like Joe Schmidt is watching on for this game, and Brisbane is a failed sporting city, says Katsanil. Brisbane Broncos, they didn't have a terrible season last year, did they? They're currently down by 8-0 though. In their contest up against the Sydney Roosters. Matt Faisler. Throw this one in. Gone over the top. It looks like it's going to be available for someone to grab, and it's a Safa Moore who gets the bounce of the ball. Now the Bulldozer moves to 40 metres out from their own line. I'd love to see the Aussie team win against New Zealand team. Makes the games interesting to watch. Says Spider-Mech in there, but kick down fell from Suliasi Vunivalu. At this point, he is the only man who's chasing. Just had a quick look at the referee to make sure he was onside. Now kicked into Dutch by Fergus Burke. Do they want it quickly? They do not. Do your followers think TJ will make a comeback? A majority don't think he will, but then saying that, now that Aaron Smith isn't in the picture, maybe if there was ever a time for Perenara to make his comeback, it would be there. But then saying that, I don't think is he match fit yet? I think he's still injured, isn't he? We've got a super sticker from Blues Day. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated in there. Now, normally each time we get to the weekend, that is either the pizza or the KFC fun night. So I guess I'll ask the question, which one out of the two is it today? And Roosters 8, Broncos 4. Says Graham. Also, they just got themselves a try, the Brisbane Broncos. Cross kick attempted by the Reds, slapped back by Vunivalu, just like he was back in his rugby league days. It looked like an illegal clean out there from Isaiah Walker-Leoleri. And Drew has no game time. So, yeah, unless they give him a lot of game time before it, it's going to be a bit similar to Will Jordan. I don't think they want to rush him back in, because if there's a more severe injury that occurs afterwards, then you can do more harm than good. Matt Faisler now, 10 metres out from their own line here. The Reds, a lot of pressure being put on. I feel like a fish and chips boss, says Blues Nate. Partially charged down by Isaiah Walker-Leoeri. He just hit his fingers. I believe Damon Murphy will be calling this as a Reds line out. Coach frantically writing notes for the Reds here. I hope TJP does not return to the ABs. Good player, yes. We need to look towards the future. Roigard, Pakatava look the goods. TJP's time has gone, unfortunately. And maybe more time in club rugby. Yeah, I think it would be a good idea for him. And, that's the thing. They've still got a lot of other young options. And I just talked about the Crusaders in terms of going with a 20-year-old at 9 and a 20-year-old at 10. Of course, the All Blacks can't really afford to do that. But, Xavier Rowe and McKenzie, they seem like they're an all right combo. Although I still think a lot of people, after we saw Roigard and McKenzie combining last year, would love to see that as the starting duo. And, mate, do we win any games against South Africa and New Zealand this year? Based on last year's performance, is Katsanel. Now, you just have to very quickly remind me, who are you calling as Is that Wales or Australia? And smooth commentary soothes my soul. Sunday morning. There's Roof. Oh, it's a knock on from New Zealand, although I think the ref said play on. So now Suliasi Vuniavalu, he's deep inside of his own territory, has to kick this one into touch, and it's gone out just inside of the 22. Australia says Cats. Now, I'd like to think that there'll be, that's the thing. Up against South Africa, it seems to be competitive at times. And same with New Zealand. It's just whether or not they get the selections right, first of all, which I think Eddie Jones was really destroying them with. I mean, we saw that throughout that Rugby World Cup. He went with the youngest squad out of any team, and he got the worst ever finish for Australia in their Rugby World Cup history. Back across, TK Howden to Ruben Love. Billy Proctor hit hard in the midfield. ABs need to have the experience in 9 as well as the up and comers. So that would probably be a good reason to have Perenara, although I think I would still go with Brad Weber. I don't think this is going to be an unpopular opinion, although some people would agree. I don't like Finlay Christie starting as 9. I don't think he's done enough to show that that is actually where he should be. I think that he's got a brilliant 4-pack in front of him for the Blues, and that's drastically helped his rugby. But I think you put him in front of an average 4-pack, and he too will look average. I'm hoping he has a standout season now that I've said that, though. But Peter Lakai, one of the young men from the under-20s New Zealand system, it's available. Roy Yard sells the dummy, almost burst through like he did 9 times throughout last season. This is a chance for one of the big forwards. Peter Lakai, though, decides he will go himself. Now Lomax. Is he going to be able to get over the line? The big Hurricanes forward. No, he leaves it. Now for Brett Cameron. Within a metre, the ball rolls out. They'll go back for the initial penalty. And they look like, I like the look of the Reds backline. I think they're going to be all over the field. Hurricanes have a tough one ahead. So here's Roof, and they've started this match at a very good pace. First 20 minutes, they haven't really lost a spring in their step. And that's pretty important, because the last thing that you want to be doing is slowing down at this stage of the contest. You want to keep on motoring as much as you can. Go like this, and like that as well. There we go. Now 21 minutes in. Hurricanes, even though they have conceded more points than the Reds, are still considered favourites for this contest. But favourites don't mean much. We just saw in the sevens, I think 3 out of the 4 underdogs of the quarterfinals managed to get themselves the victories. Royard was about to put that ball in, but we got a little bit too much movement, so Jordan Way says we'll have that one again. I've got how the hell did that Brett Cameron get capped by the ABs? Says Marco Vunipola. It was quite a while ago, wasn't it, for Brett Cameron? I remember that was during a time, I think they were trying out a young player, but also because they had an injury in there too. Go the Hurricanes, says JMS. And also we'll see if it's a Cape Town test at Cape Town Stadium. Yeah. I'm also want to see AB's practice here at normally around the corner. It will be great, says Ruth. I chose the worst possible time to cut off my own sentence there. Brayden Iossi off the back. Gets within a metre. Right, this is where we need a big Tyrell Lomax. It's another penalty. Roygaard thought about the quick tap, but I think they will go for the scrum here once again. That big question of who will be the next try scorer in this contest. I think that someone like a Brayden Iossi has a very good chance of being the next man to cross that chalk. Anyone with the name Brett Cameron deserves to be in the team, says Ruth. Okay, fair enough. Bit of favouritism to the name. I'm trying to think of another Brett that's been at the top level. I can't think of any though. Brett. Someone, I'm sure. There'll be another Brett somewhere. Hey, scrum feed going down again here. And that's so cool, how exciting. That's like a dream for me to watch the Boxers AB's game in South Africa. And that will be like the ultimate experience for myself. So here's Marco. A ball about to be fed in by Cam And And he puts it in. Braden USC waits for this one instead. Roya goes off the barrel, flicks it out the back door. Beautiful hands there. Out wide to Kitty Naholo. And you do not stop that man from that close to the line. And the Hurricanes are in again with another try. I've taken the lead back now for the Hurricanes. Kitty Naholo, the big man, out on the wing. It's impossible to stop when he starts getting that stride going. Getting a holo though. Wants to be the leading try scorer of the competition. Gonna have a few contenders. At the moment, Hoskins Tutu, he is sitting on 4 or 5. I think he's on 5 tries. Hoskins Tutu, which is just absolutely insane for 2 games of Super Rugby. Hopefully he continues that form throughout the rest of the Super season. That's the second. I went to Bosch. I got to see loads of the international teams practice. Here's Gareth. And Ultimate 2 of the best ever in World Rugby. Here's Ruth. Cameron to line up this one. He's 0 from 1 today. He did end up just having it go around to the side. Gambling has ruined how we consume sports. I actually do agree with you there. I feel like back in the day, before people I always look at the odds. I never place bets though, because I'm terrible at predictions. But in terms of favourites and underdogs, there's a lot of money being won and there's a lot of money being lost. Our channel Rugby Itch on Emmy says Spidermickey is on his channel, which of course is called Rugby Itch. Bro penalty. Says James, nicely offloaded. Going to be knocked backwards though by the Hurricanes, that have managed to get this one back. The score at the moment in this contest sitting 12 points to 7 after the successful conversion from Cameron. Geordie Barrett boots it down the middle of the field. Sits up for Jordan Petaia just inside of his own half. Now runs it back towards Geordie Barrett, who smashes him hard. And lovely rugby grounds there. Hello Hamish, been a long time. Go Hurricanes, says Darren. Welcome back, mate. Doing well. I don't even know how to gambling stuff works. The odds 4 to 7 or whatever. I'm like, WF, does that even mean? Says Marco. See, I'm a bit the same with that kind of thing of the 4 to 7 and whatnot. But I always look at it as the good news about the New Zealand one is they just tell you the odds. It's just a number. The higher the number, the more of an underdog a team is. Now the Hurricanes have got a 5-point lead, but Tom Liner's about to kick this one towards the touchline. Will be about 10 metres out from the Canes line. How do you feel the Black Caps losing? Not ideal, of course, but hopefully they go better in the second test, as I am actually going to be going to it for the second and third day. Here come the Hurricanes again. Ding-dong battle, says Ruth. And our men's sevens lost to the USA, says Spider Mick. They did. The quarterfinals, the semi-finals look so different to what a lot of people would have anticipated. I was a student at Bishop's, year 8 and 9. There's Katzenell. The ball looking for it as Iwaka digging around for it. And I think he might have been able to get the turnover. What minute are you in? I'm currently at 27 minutes and 29 seconds. I've been told to use it now for Roygaard. Let's kick the ball into touch. About 32 metres out. We have got there, Mrs. C's. Are you proving that men can multitask? Don't know about that. I feel like on these live streams though, my brain goes at 1,000 miles an hour in different directions. So luckily, the brain slightly knows what's going on for the rugby. But that is going to be now the line out for the Reds successful. But hello to Greg's lady friend. Hope you are doing well. Kick downfield, Fergus Burke. Taken well by Jordan Petaia, 40 metres out from his own line. Now charging 40s. Oh, he's just, what has he done there? He's thrown the ball at the opposition. He's kind of gone, you have it, and it hasn't worked out for them. Now, Jock Campbell has dropped the ball, but luckily his one went backwards, so it's going to be play on. 07 rugbies can be brutal. Hey, certainly can be. 1 week, you're the best team. Next week, we've got 4 sides that have hardly made it to semi-finals. I thought there was going to be more people watching your stream, says Darren Link. I mean, it's one of those ones that we're early on in the Super Rugby season. I don't think this season is going to be as big as the last in terms of numbers, but I am completely fine with that, like I've always said. As long as we've got a few of you guys here and you guys are slightly enjoying the stream, that's normally the main goal that we have. 29 minutes in, another penalty on the halfway line. Damn it. Hard game so far. He's taking some big shots, mainly Isaiah Walker-Leaweti. Anytime he tries to make his way around the side of the breakdown, Tate McDermott, Walker-Leaweti just lines him up and goes kabang and sends him down to the turf. I'm enjoying Amish, says Darren Link, and that the one, boss. And mate, it's an awesome stream, says Greg. And yeah, we've got plenty more coming. We've got Super Rugby, we've got the Six Nations, the Sevens that we cover. We're also covering some cricket on the channel if that is something you're interested in. Plenty more coming up in the near future. And go Reds, but no bonus point. And more than 20 points ahead of the Canes, thank you. Assume that is so that the Canes do not overtake the Chiefs. Now 30 minutes on the 22. Matt Faisler will have the pick and go around the side of the breakdown. This first half has flown by. No idea where the last 30 minutes went. It's going very quick. I don't think we've had any TMO involved throughout this match either, so it's running extremely smoothly. Hardly even a stoppage. Hope I haven't just jinxed that. Going to the short side here for the Reds. Still waiting for you to cover the women's beach volleyball games. I feel like you'd much rather watch them though, Marco, than hear me describe them. I feel like it would be a really interesting evening for you if I was commentating it. The Canes win by 7 or less, says Novmum. Back across. Well, I think for the Hurricanes, they only need to win this by... What's the margin? There we go. They would only need to... Oh, yeah, no, I guess that would keep them down, wouldn't it? But with a bonus point, that would change things. And the G. And since Robertson has left the Crusaders, they are bad. But also it is early in the season. And plus, they have got a 20-year-old at 9 and a 20-year-old at 10. So I think that that's one of those scenarios that a lot of people who look at it from the outside without knowing the injury situation at the Crusaders at the moment will say, oh, they're doing terribly because Razor's left. But I think it's more of the case as well that they just don't have the amount of depth that was first anticipated for the Crusaders. Like they've got about their 4th choice fly half at the moment because everyone else is injured. Don't talk about cricket. Aussie are just too good for our boys as always. Says Spider-Mick. Good there. Yeah, also Will Jordan not playing. Will Jordan's not there. Currently injury-wise, Ethan Blackadder not there. They don't have Cody Taylor, Sam Whitelock. They don't have Mwonga, Whaiana Nuku due to going overseas. There's just so many players and so much adjustment that needs to be made. Aussies have us head-effed in the cricket. They do. But I still think New Zealand, we don't seem to have a middle at the moment. We either want to score at 1.5 and over or we go slogging and end up going out. If they can find that happy medium, I think they'll find a lot more success in that second test match. But I'm sorry, the fact that they didn't bowl Glenn Phillips in that 100-plus partnership between Hazelwood and Green, I think was stupidity at its finest. Definitely when he goes on in the second innings and gets a fifer. So he can bowl. Everyone knew he can bowl. They know that he's good at picking up wickets. We don't bowl him. Adam Blackadder's always injured. I'm starting to think, old mate hasn't cut out for the collisions, says Marco. Now 5 metres from the line. We've actually had a stoppage only about a minute after I said we haven't had many stoppages today. I also apologise for the lighting. It seems like it doesn't want to completely focus on me. Who's your performance team and player of the week? I mean, player of the week, Satutu's got to be up there, seeing as he got himself the hat-trick. We've also seen some great work from the likes of a Tane Edmed or even Reece Patchell, I felt, was pretty good in the game up against the Blues. Now rolling more here. The Reds 5 metres out from the line. They're getting close now. This looks very good. Offloaded back to Zane Ungor, and he will score the try for the Reds are going to give performance to the Tars to beat the Crusaders. Says Pickle Sandwich, especially by that much. Yeah, 13 plus is impressive up against a side like the Crusaders. Damn, the Red scores their Darren Link. They certainly did with Zane Ungor off the rolling ball. The Hurricanes disappointed. And that 10 Tars, though, I don't know his name, so that is Tane Edmed. And yeah, he did extremely well. Zane Ungor, or whatever, has a strange name. Says Marco. Aussie pick the ball to hit, leave the one that's not. Our boys, well, you guess, says Spider Mech. I'm like 15 seconds ahead of you, so I won't spoil the score until you say it. Says Darren, usually appreciated. Bro, your teeth are exceptionally white. How did you get them so white? Fun fact, I think it's purely lighting. Like, some live streams, they won't look like this. Some live streams, they do. But I can tell you right now, they're not as white as they look. But, like, they're not terrible, I wouldn't say, but they're just definitely not. Like, they just shine on the lights for some reason. Which, I mean, I'll take, but yeah, they're not quite as good as they look. Nice, says Mr. All-In. Reds sitting 12 all now. In this contest, I see that Ravai is onto the field for Hodgman. And I love it, says Pickle Sandwich. That was close to a charge now. Yeah, I don't think I'll get a Colgate sponsorship anytime soon unless they only see me on live stream. Like if they have to have an actual meeting, I'll be like, nah, can't make it, sorry. Just look at the live stream and decide. The Reds, they will get the penalty. And Team Sheets, brother, please, says Marco. So, Team Sheets-wise, Hurricanes, they have gone with a pretty strong lineup overall. I don't think there were too many other changes that they could have made to put them in a better position. Barrett and Proctor in the midfield have been quite quiet throughout the first 34 minutes. And I was backing a prop for the Hurricanes to score a try within this first half. Doesn't look, though, like it's going to be happening for the Reds. Their backline is also pure class. Harry Wilson, the man who did score the first try of the match for the Reds, alongside him in the midfield or in that loose forward trio, they have also got Fraser McWright as well as Liam Wright. Last 4 penalties have all been conceded by the Hurricanes. Is there a new rule about mouthguard hammy? There's the microchip in the mouthguard, which means if your microchip says that you should be concussed, then you actually end up having to go off the field. We saw a bit of controversy about that in round number 1 of the Super Rugby competition. Nice run from Suliasi Vunivalu, only 10 metres out from the line now. Fun fact, used to play rep footy, Sydney, with Andrew Callaway from under 14s to under 17s. Guys, the machine he certainly is. The massive reason why the Rebels were successful over the Western Force. Now Penny Rabai. Tag on him by Tyrell Lomax. Inside ball. You could just hear the contact when Peter Lakai smacked into the opposition. Tom Liner almost ended up losing the ball. The Hurricanes going for the counter-ruck, but they do not get it. Now Matt Faisler. Moment, it's just about trying to find that next opportunity to score for the Reds. They'll go off to their right-hand side. 45k at the game in Vegas. Impressive for the USA, says Blues Nate. It's going to be a new advantage. That is for offside. Penny Ravai just short of the try line here. Fraser McWright the same. Wilson, quick hands. McDermott in the corner. And the Reds will take the lead now. And come on, Rooster smashed them Broncos. We've got there Hamish. How can Hamish cover women's volleyball without that shirt? Says Ruth. And also, damn it, Reds scored, says Darren. And cheers, bro. Thank you. No worries at all. D-Mac is looking good. Chiefs have a very good team. They certainly do. Like, looking through at the starting lineups for them in their first game up against the Crusaders, like, they just did look like the side that would win that game. I told you, lads, Reds by 30, baby. Well, if they continue this way, you might not be a mile off, Pickle Sandwich. Just sounds like such a weird way to end a sentence, doesn't it? And nice one, Reds. Says Spinks, but that'll be the second of the season for Tate McDermott. He did score last week up against the Waratahs. Only 3 minutes remaining in this first half now. Liner brings it round. Fantastic kick from the touchline, making the score 19 points to 12. And no, Hurricanes all the way. So here's Darren Link. And yes, Hurricanes see red. So in terms of this game at the moment, the odds, Hurricanes are actually underdogs. The Reds are coming in as $1.87 favourites. Interesting. Just looking through at who is available in this game for these two sides in terms of who will be the ones who step up in the second half. Looks like Hurricanes in position about 30 metres out from the line. Now Cameron gets it off to Isaiah Walker-Leawiti. I'm not too fussed about this game. However, up the Tars spank the Satyrs, bloody beautiful. In early days, says Spider-Mech. Crusaders and Hurricanes looking shaky this weekend. And Pickle Sandwich, you're dreaming. Says Greg. And Reds have hands on the ball in the ruck. So much not being penalised. Short ball there. Mr. Caleb Delaney. And the penalty does go the way of the Hurricanes. Now, they are down by 7, so I don't believe they will be keen on going for anything but the corner here. I think that would be the smarter decision. That is what Geordie Barrett will be doing. Anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated all being here. Line out now for the Hurricanes. I think just out 15 metres from the Rebels, from the Reds try line. So far we've seen 11 lineouts for the Reds, 3 lineouts for the Hurricanes, 14 lineouts in the first half. That is a huge amount, ladies and gents. A little pop pass back from DK Howden, trying to roll their way forward here. The Hurricanes. Roigard goes across to Peter Lakai. Slammed into the turf. Roigard asking for that ball to become available. It's going to be the big man, Xavier Numia. Roigard across to Geordie Barrett. Ruben Love to Kenny Naholo. One more pass. Quick hands. Morby has somehow kept that ball in the field of play. The touch judge keeps the flag down. And also Billy Proctor keeps that ball alive. It's gone backwards. Geordie Barrett, there's a lot of physicality coming from this Reds defence. As Roigard looks both ways, not just before he crosses the street, but before he throws his pass from halfback. Safa Moore bumps off Matt Faisler. Finds the offload to Peter Lakai. Couldn't quite get it away to Tyrell Lomax, who missed the clean out. But there's another penalty advantage from the Reds. Leaving their feet. Roigard scores it between the posts off the quick tap. And the young halfback for the Hurricanes have got them back into it at halftime. She's going to be 19-19. It's been an entertaining first half. Now, my original prediction was Chiefs versus Brumbies would be close. Hurricanes versus Reds would be high scoring. In this case, it seems like it's going to be that the Brumbies versus Chiefs is the high-scoring one. This one's going to be high-scoring and close. Great bit of work from Cam Roigard. Took the quick tap and then just not able to stop him there. Josh Fluke did try, but just ran out of space. The first try of the season for Cam Roigard. The first of many, that is for sure. And let's go, says Darren Link, but the kick is over. For half-time between these two sides, it will be 19 points to 19. Anyone's for the taking in the second half of this one. Did come off a good win last weekend. And wow, and how did Foz pick Christie over Roigard as bench option at the World Cup? Unbloody believable, says Mako Vunapola. Now looking through at some of the stats for this first half, we will get to see exactly who the leading performers are for both of these sides. First of all, metres gained 197 for the Hurricanes compared to the 210 metres that we have seen gained by the Reds. Defenders beaten 15 by the Hurricanes, 7 by the Reds, 4 clean breaks to the 0 in favour of the Hurricanes. Also 3 tries apiece, few more tackles made by the Hurricanes, but only 4 missed tackles out of the 97 made. So that is definitely helping them. Yet somehow they have still conceded 3 tries though. Not quite where they will want to be. Mate by better than commentary on Sky. Says Greg, thank you very much. Hugely appreciated. And also we've got their Hihi Bo. Says Cliff. Through at the penalty stat, we have seen 9 penalties against the Hurricanes in that first half, 5 against the Reds. No yellow cards as of yet, but I would think if we see too many more repeat infringements from either of these teams, they could end up with a man in the bin. 55% of the possession in this game has gone in favour of the Reds. The most running metres of any Reds player going to their fullback, Jordan Petaia, who has had 44 metres carried and 3 defenders beaten. For the Hurricanes, it's actually the same boat. Ruben Love having the most metres at 52, having the 5 carries, and also has managed to get himself the try. We have got the Hamish Pro serious question. Have you or your parents messaged Sky Sports about a commentary job? No. But only because I don't think I'm actually at all qualified. And I know that some of you guys will be like, the commentary's good. But like, I feel like the ability of being able to chat to you guys during streams as well is something that sadly you don't get in the actual commentary gig. And it would be a very big decision because at the end of the day, I feel like one of the reasons I love doing these streams so much, like don't get me wrong, I love watching the rugby, but I think that having you guys in the chat and talking to you guys, meeting so many new people is the thing that keeps us doing so many of these. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe down the line there might be something there. I don't think it would be like a main commentary role, but maybe some sort of partnership with something. Oh, mate, back to his Comey Van. Haven't seen him since. Oh, sorry, his Comey Van. Haven't seen him since. Says a Blues. Nate, in terms of the tackling stats, throughout this first half, we saw 14 tackles made by TK Howden, 10 made by Isaiah Waka-Leawera, and also 10 made by Caleb Delaney, 11 by Xavier Numia. Okay, gotcha on you, brother. Says a Marco in there. Yeah, who knows? Maybe one day down the line. Someone mentioned about a job in the USA at one point, but I don't know if they were actually serious about it, but that's kind of far away. Liam Wright, Siriuru, and also Ryan Smith have all made the 9 tackles for their side. And geez, look at these two teams neck and neck. Whatever the Hurricanes can do, the Reds can match. Best commentary on YouTube is Mr. Allin. Hugely appreciated. We have got there, by the way, Hamish Robert Vale did an awesome job this morning while you were busy with Charlize Theron. Don't let George hear that. He'll be very jealous if you end up telling him about that note. But yeah, it was a massive shame that my alarm didn't go off. Because I'm so gutted because I only decided, I'll have a 45-minute rest. The alarm will go off. I'll do the URC. I'll do the 7s in the morning. I might get like a 2-hour rest in between, but the goal was to go right through and do all the streams. And then the alarm didn't go off. So I woke up at like 9 and went, oh no. And I thought maybe I was going to be just in time for New Zealand versus Samoa, but that happened like an hour prior. And that was a good game, going right down to the wire. But yeah, hopefully last time that it happens in a very long time. Look at that, Nate. Hamish still has time in between commentary for Charlize. Says, or Charlize. Charlize or Charlize? Charlize, I assume. George will know how to, no, he won't know how to say it. Actually, he just knows what she looks like. Sounds dodgy, doesn't it? Our Reds are good. Says Roof, I should mention any of you guys who are regular Kiwi Lads entertainment viewers. We have recently got a new video up over on there where myself, George, and Isaac all do a quiz of 50 questions. See whether or not we're brainy or not. Fun fact, we're not that brainy. So yeah, the regulars over there. Be sure to give that a look after the end of this stream. Be sure you watch it all the way through because George loves himself some viewer retention. Wakey, wakey, hands off Snakey. Says Fluffy. Second half just around the corner. I feel you, Hamish. I do it a lot. I'm always late for work. Says Blues Nate. Although for me, I was 6 hours or so late for work, or 4 hours late for work, if the streams are counted. So yeah, it wasn't the best bit of work. to be fair. But yeah, like I said, it's the first time it's happened in like 3 years since I did the top 14. I believe it was La Rochelle versus Toulouse. I think that live stream's now privated because I actually came out on the stream wearing just what I wore to bed, which was like a singlet. And at that stage, I had long hair. I just had a mop on my head. We have Gadesso. Is Queenie still around? She is. Yep, they're going strong. Almost 10 years, I believe, for those two. Maybe longer than 10 years. Which is pretty awesome, I have to say. It's quite funny. The two of the Kiwi lads who are on the channel the least are the two with girlfriends. Coincidence? I think not. But that's all right. There's plenty more live streams coming up in the near future, and that makes the schedule very tricky to do anything but the streaming. Although I played cricket yesterday, poorly I will add, but still played it. Tried my best for it. Second half. It's always a long one. More streams coming, or is it done for the day? This will be the last one of the day, but tomorrow morning, bright and early, we'll be up and rearing to go for some more sevens. Those two are hoes before bros, says Marco. And something is wrong with New Zealand players today, not really up for it. And also, Marco, no Freddie Mercury is dead, buddy. He was the queen, says Ruth. But the upcoming games for the sevens, girlfriends ruin everything. Well, that depends on who you find. You must not be finding the right ones, if that's the case. So, for the sevens tomorrow, first match is South Africa versus Canada. Now, I'm not sure if we are going to be covering that one. Have you done some cricket training today? I have not. I'm still recovering from yesterday. My groin's pretty much gone again, but that happens every single week that I try and run. But yeah, probably give it 1 or 2 days and then get back into it. And then by then I would have finished the live streams as well. Well, we will have to stick the phone on charge, just in case I have the alarm set for tomorrow. I've got to get your opinion on JK, Amish. Knowledgeable man. Opinionated, but he stands by what he says. Like, if he says something, he won't change his mind later. He'll say, that's what I said from the get-go. And loves the Blues. Big time. But the upcoming games, like I mentioned, South Africa versus Canada is the first one. That is at 8:45 a.m. New Zealand time. Then 9:10 will be the matchup between Samoa and New Zealand. France play Ireland, and Spain play Great Britain in the semi-final games. Australia versus USA playing off for 7th place. Fiji versus Argentina playing off for 5th place. That will be at 12:58 p.m. We have got there, you need to start doing the splits, Amish, to strengthen your groin. Trust me, if I could do the splits, I'd do it. But, nah, the groin does not bend that way, unfortunately. Like, I can, even just doing that, you guys couldn't see what I did. That kind of probably looked dodgy, but I was pretty much just stretching out my legs, which still sounds dodgy. But yeah. And fluffy vanilla iced coffee. And iced coffee. I love iced coffee. How did we get onto iced coffee? Oh, because Ruth said woke up late. Their coffee was cold. And I'm still doing my rugby trainings with my son. We got 3 different tackle bags now. Like 10 balls, a few different types of kicking tees, a body harness, and we do wrestling to help with his ruck, says Johnny. Good stuff. And I assume he's still enjoying it. I know he was last time you mentioned about it. I went through a patch after the Rugby League World Cup. I think I've got a bag of balls that I have about 25. Or maybe 20. But that's because they were very, very cheap after the World Cup. So I ended up buying them. You do bowling as well? That's why you are tired? Nah, I didn't bowl. Just running does it to me groin. I'm quite unfit. Even though we're at the end of the season, like off season, I'll probably be like, oh, I'm going to get fit. But we'll see whether or not I do. It will either work or it won't. As you come coach teams here in Cape Town, says Ruth. Could be an idea in the future, Johnny. Take up some coaching. At the moment, the way that the odds sit, the Reds are underdogs. In this contest, they are $3 underdogs to go on and win this game, even though they are at a level playing field. Second half is just around the corner now. Seen 10 kicks roughly from each team. 92 tackles made for the Hurricanes, only missing the 4 like I mentioned, and that is a drastic improvement upon what we see from the Reds, who have missed 14. John Hamish has a very good strong groins. Just look at that mustache. And he's hardened up heaps. So we're hoping all the trainings will transition into his next game as rugby muster starts next week. And games in about 3 weeks, so we're ready for our season now. Says Marco. And it doesn't feel like we've already had 11.5 games of Super Rugby. Nah, it's flown by big time. Next week, we've got, of course, 6 more games that will be taking place. This is the schedule in terms of when the games are happening. Friday night, Moana Pacifica versus the Rebels. Waratahs versus Highlanders are also taking place on the Friday night. Then it is the Drua versus the Satyrs, Brumbies versus the Force, and the Hurricanes versus the Blues. That should be a good game. Bit of a New Zealand derby going head-to-head there. And then the Reds versus the Chiefs to close out the evening of Super Rugby. The halftime breaks are so long in Australia. I swear we've talked about so much stuff as well, and there is still probably a few minutes before we get back. How much is your most viewed live, Hammy? I think it was the Rugby World Cup final. Probably about 700,000 views or somewhere around there, I believe it was. Something like that for that live stream. I have no idea how that Rugby World Cup flew by so quick either. Like, it's one of those ones that we're going to be at the end of the year before we know it. And I've tried, but some parents are nasty and swear and take the games too serious. Gosh, they're only kids, guys. As in the All Blacks here, I'm happy to do just my own coaching. Do you also feel breathless when you run too much? Said you are unfit? Yeah, pretty much. But also just more of the fact that I know that my body's not keeping up with me either. Nice. Says Mr. All in fire commentary. We are getting close. We will show the reserves, ladies and gentlemen. That is something that we haven't talked about at halftime. Looking through the Hurricanes, James O'Reilly, Rakiti Stones and Dossi will be the men coming off the bench for the front row. They've also got Lasanga and Sangster, Filiuan, Higgins and Salisi Reasi. Then for the Reds, they've got Nassar Ravai has already made his way onto the field for Angasi. Is there at number 18. Daly and Bryant, the 2 forward replacements, and then McLaughlin Phillips, Max Greeley, and Kalani Thomas, the next 3 for the Reds. About commentary, oops, just slammed my hand on my desk. We have got there, yep, Hamish guy Charlize, number 1 in the South, says Blues Nate. And proper thighs, those thighs, says Fluffy. Have you seen those chick wrestlers? They can snap a man's spine with those thighs, ouch. And final from Las Vegas, Roosters 20 and Broncos 10. Okay, so a good win for the Roosters in the end for that contest. I believe that's the only 2 games that have taken place for the NRL up until later on this week. If I'm correct, Hamish pronounces the Māori and Tongan and Fijian names really well. Even our South African brothers, Hamish is a well-travelled man, says Marco there. Oh, both sides making their way back out onto the field. We are almost ready to go, ladies and gentlemen, for the second 40 minutes of this contest. My lighting's really annoying me because it keeps on flickering, and I have no idea why. I think it's just because I move. Back in the day, some Pacific Island mums used to stand on the sideline with branches from the trees, says Naz Williams. Peter Lakai, ready to go. He hasn't really had that big breakout that he needs in this contest as of yet, but I do not doubt the fact that he will be very evidential throughout this second 40 minutes. Come on, people, hit that like button. Please, Kiwi Lads rock forever, says Roof. But the second half just about to get underway. In Melbourne, there are a lot of empty seats at the ground, unfortunately. The Super Round, once again, I'm going to say it, it's been a failure. If they can't get people in attendance, you might as well play the game somewhere that we are going to see people in the stands. Now back across to the right-hand side, already Brighton Aosi finds the offload on the outside to Billy Proctor, who puts in the field. Looks like the Hurricanes trying to start the second half at a high tempo. Royard, ball is available there. The Reds have sealed off a few times in the breakdown. Also had their hands on the ground, so the referee is keeping a close eye on them. A couple more and they might end up with a man going to the bin. Ruben Love goes off to Kenny Naholo. Tackled by Tate McDermott. A parent tried to trip me up with his walking cane once when I was scooting down the sideline for a try. Says Fluffy. Royard trying to go through. He's being scragged by his jersey. And it's a penalty advantage, so it kind of backfires for the Reds player. Peter Lakai. I think there was Suru. Wasn't able to roll away from that breakdown. 10 metres out from the line now. Royard going back to the short side to the right. Wide get a pass to Kenny Naholo. Normally that man doesn't need too many metres. Oh, he's just dropped the ball. Turtle Beach are now having a direct drive force feedback wheel for Xbox PC. Says Kiwi Gamer and also Targo Boys Parents says it all. Where's my other ladies on this chat? Hello ladies, wherever you are, we miss you. Says Ruth. Hurricanes kicking for the corner, going for a 5-metre scrum now. And the third leg, always beware. Says Blues Nate. Suffer more. Throw this one in. The rolling ball could be on here, but if they get it slightly wrong, we might end up seeing the Reds be able to counter it. Oh, we will go like this. Like that as well. Okay, the Reds still are kind of heavy underdogs, which is surprising. So I would have thought that we would see, or tell you what, they're in trouble here though. It's going to be a penalty to the Hurricanes for scooping that ball back. You're the only one, Ruth. Well, we'll go like that. And like that as well. The ball was out, but they didn't use it, and also just getting dragged back. The heavy counter ruck. Who's the captain of the Hurricanes? I believe it is co-captains of Geordie Barrett and Asafa Moore, and they're over there, the Hurricanes. Who is it? It's not Lomax. It's Asafa Moore who goes over, and Aussie team's putting up a fight this Super Rugby season. Nice one, lads. And when's the next strike? Or where's the next strike coming from, Hamish? Well, the Reds says Roof, although the Hurricanes have managed to just get themselves there first of the second half. I said a 2-metre pick and go try. And, oh, hang on. Hang on. That ball's not down yet. That ball's not down. It's on the man's thigh. That should be no try. No clear ground there. Try time Hurricane says Darren Link. And off your roof up the Wild Boars. And no, says Darren. And Captain Morgan. Hurricane's rum is made from cane sugar. They will check this ground. I don't think they'll have to look at this too long. This was clearly held up. And hopefully Asafo, having vice captain, will help unlock his potential. He seems to be, or have been asleep for the past 6 years. Hasn't really kicked on to the higher honours. I wonder if Harry Potter drinks some Captain Morgan. See, it's Fluffy, so there, that one will be held up. Be called no try, held up, dang it. Says Darren Link, so that will now be a goal line dropout. Favour of the Reds, but it will still give the Hurricanes more than likely the ball back just inside of the half. Unless, of course, the Reds want to try and go short. Will be a massive risk here, though. Oh, hang on, there is a second ball on the field. Peter Lakai gets rid of it, held up. Hurricanes costing me. Says Bhavani, Harry Potter and the Slytherin crew. Braden Yorsey charges at the line. Didn't quite get as much steam as Harry Wilson normally would. Out wide, Fergus Burke goes to Kenny Naholo. Suffer more, just staying in the field of play. Good strength shown from the man who almost just had himself his first try of the day. Peter Lakai now. That's a good bit of work in the breakdown. Oh, that was close for a turnover for Ryan Smith. Hurricanes versus Chiefs called them home. Says Bhavani. Now back across to the right-hand side. Oh, big shot on Geordie Barrett. Well, the ball was actually lost there, and the Reds do get themselves the penalty. Great bit of work again. Ball carrier holding on, penalty, and now watch those Reds counter-attacks. Who does Potter play for in the UK? Leicester? Yeah, he was a Leicester Tigers man. But yeah, now playing for the Western Force. Now line out for the Reds. Thoughts on the Satyrs playing the rest of their season in Australia, Hamish? It wouldn't be the best idea, I don't think, for them. Of course, yet to have a home game in this season. I'm sure they'll be looking forward to getting back. I think they've actually got the Fijian Drua in the next game away from home. They'll have to wait even longer before they get the chance of being there at Orange Theory Stadium. Fraser McWright sold as if he was going to be passing that ball, but does decide against it in the end. Uru, massive shot on him, but the ball sits up. It will be the try, but it won't be for the Reds. They've given it, but I think there was a clear knock on there from Uru, which they will have to go back and have a look at. But if not, this is a try for the Reds to now give them the lead. I think Jordan Way just asking to see the replays here. 7th try for Josh Fluke if this is successful. Now, I think he might have dropped it into the player in front of him. Yeah, I think that one's just bounced out the back door. I think that's going to count for the Reds. And it does. Will remain as a try. The kick is good from Tom Liner. Draw next week, good game, says Mr. Wallen. Yeah, it is the Saturday at 2:35 p.m. game. Should be an outstanding one. Yeah, Bounce Parks works nicely there. What's wrong with this guy, Amy? I thought I saw 24-19. You did until the Hurricanes try was disallowed. And then the Reds have recently scored, so now they are up 26 points to 19. Let's go. Come on, Reds, says Cole. And Nippies and Coke. I'm not too sure what the first part of that is, Johnny. I think that's at the back of the head of Uru. He doesn't look too flash there. Apologises to the kicker. Kicker should be apologising to him. Tom Liner just smacks him in the side of the head with the ball. Yeah, right, that's it. Reds counter-attacked. But I worked on side kick. Says Ruth. He's just asking whether or not Uru now with his mouth guard will need to go off the field. "32 minutes remaining in this contest. The second half, I've turned American. The second half has gone a little bit slower than the first. There is now going to be the free kick to the Hurricanes. And just like his old man, says Fluffy there. Now another scrum chance here. And of course, this is not the last of the live streams for this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow, we are going to have the matches taking place in the 7 side of things. The first one I believe we are covering will be South Africa versus Canada. That is at 8:45 a.m. New Zealand time, followed by Samoa versus New Zealand. And then also a few other games later on with the semi-finals just around the corner as well. Lolches Roof says it's subject 41. Captain Jack Sparrow says Roof. Now going off to the short side. Cam Royga goes straight through Peter Lakai. What a shot on him by Josh Fluke. who might have just broken his own rib to put in that hit. The Reds have got this ball available only a few metres out from their line. They will go back for the original scrum, but what a hit from Josh Fluke. He is still down and winded. So maybe he might have hurt his right shoulder here. Better luck, Kai. Bang! Big shot coming in from the side. Give me that booty arc, says Marco. I think that's your pirate impersonation, is it? Fluke trying to stretch out that shoulder and that arm to make sure that it does still work. Won't be too comfortable. And to be fair, he's taken one of the bigger men that are around. I'm feeling seasick, you bunch of useless rocks, says Ruth. We've got there as well, X marks the spot marker. Just talking to the commentators. Something that they've incorporated this year is actually having a camera inside of the commentary box. Get up, boy. No time to bleed. Says Spider-Mick. I've quite enjoyed the addition of interviewing players, though, while they are on the sideline, because normally when there's the line break, they just absolutely lose their mind, which is always pretty awesome to see. Now scrum feed. Going to be in play now. Well, we will go like that and like that as well. What are the Pirates like? What is their accent and what country do they come from? The old school ones with eye patches, arm hooks, skull flags. That's a good question. I don't actually know. To be honest, big run from Braden Yossi. Gets within a couple metres. Nice attack and play here. Quick ball. Ruben Love with a step. And he scores the try for the Hurricanes. They are now back in the contest. She's a seesaw of a game. And it seems like anyone could take it from here. Like the plank, you good for nothing trolls. And Captain Hook, says Bottomick. And also Pirates play at Tahuna Park in Dunedin. And also XXX Vin Diesel marks the spot. Boom. And try time Hurricane, says Darren Link. Yeah, scoring it nicely for the Hurricanes on this right-hand side of the field. Skip past to Ruben Love, who backed himself to go in for the try and grounds it before Tate McDermott could slow him down. Helped up to his feet as well, Ruben Love, afterwards. Minutes through. Ruben's got the love. Come on, Canes. Need DW. Says Blues and 8. Cameron lining up this kick. He's sitting 2 from 3 today. Gonna make it 3 from 4. Yes, he is. Sitting 26 to 26. It's a high-scoring game. It's a close game. And I'll be honest, I don't know who's actually going to walk away with the win here. Seems like both sides have got more than the capabilities of being able to win this contest. It's just who takes their opportunities more throughout this last 28 minutes. It's kicked off long by the Reds, down towards the 22, nicely taken by Billy Proctor, who has had a relatively quiet game overall. In fact, him and Geordie Barrett, we've hardly seen those two. Keep it up, Red. Says Drew, there's been a lot more of Roygaard going to Brett Cameron and then Ruben Love. Those have been the 3 main players in that Hurricanes backline, with the little bit of an addition of Kinney Naholo as well. It's going to be the penalty won by the Hurricanes. Not rolling away. We've got the Hurricanes back again. Keep coming back like yo-yos, says Ruth. Now Geordie Barrett going to kick this one into touch 19, all now 26 all, says Spider Mick. I have a feeling we're going to see a few lead changes before the end of this contest. One of these two sides will score, then the other will probably score as well. Just to keep it nice and close. But Asafa Moore now throws this ball in, nicely taken. Canroiga going across the left-hand side, pop pass. Oh my goodness, he's just sat down Hunter Paisami. Uosi went over to tell him all about it. But Paisami will need an HIA, I think, because he just got rocked. Over 66 points get in. Geordie Barrett, mate, have you ever spent heaps of time over pre-season practicing your kicks at goal and not going to McDonald's early hours in the morning like you did down in Dunedin? It was the Cristiano Ronaldo equivalent player in rugby in terms of popularity and money-wise. Probably, I mean, money-wise, you'd have to look at someone like an Antoine Dupont or a Finn Russell or someone like that, although Russell always likes to compare himself as the Messi of the rugby world. But like I always say, the good news about Messi compared to Finn Russell is Messi has actually won a World Cup. Springboks 2027, says Bhavani. Yeah, he got dropped. Didn't look too flash there, Hunter Paisami. Poor Rickety Stone's actually the man almost leading that foot race up until he wasn't. If they didn't get caught and hung, then they were spot on, or they spot by the British government. For me, it's Cheslin Colby. Not sure about the monies, but I presume he's a multi-millionaire. I think so. I think he was on about a 1-point-something million contract at one point. Braden Yossi charging towards the try line. I feel like Hurricanes have recently taken the momentum back in this game. They've had a lot more phases. Been told to release it. Ryan Smith trying his best to roll out of that breakdown. He's done pretty well in the end. Now Geordie Barrett loops it in behind to Ruben Love. Billy Proctor does get through the tackle with Tom Liner. Gets through two more. Almost gave the ball away, but Morby able to clean that one up. Back to the right, Geordie Barrett. Goes again to Ruben Love. Big shot on him, though. Fluke has put in some big hits throughout this game. Kenny Naholo now going down the wing. Finds his offload away to Peter Lakai. Kane's firing up. Says Blues Nate. And what about that lost Pumas? Number 10, Nicholas Sanchez probably could be pretty good shout in terms of the Messi. Look at the Argentina, fantastic. Ramos Rodriguez. Says Roof. Also, we have got there like a bona fide superstar. All the kids look up to him and like him because his bag of tricks. He's an awesome rugby player. Says Marco. And I think he's also a very inspirational player because a lot of people look at him and go, okay, he's not a very big guy. How's he going to go out on the rugby field? And he just pretty much shows them all up. Very awesome. Oh, the contact we have heard through the referee's microphone today has been absolutely brutal. Nicely taken by Brett. Cameron goes back to Ruben Love. Good player, says Spider Mick. Kicked him on, running onto a Geordie Patai. He's been nailed in the shot by Geordie Barrett. I think Patai stayed down, might have clipped him a little bit high. Tom Liner now running down the short side. Going to test out his speed. Geordie Patai has not got up as of yet. That looked high from the Hurricanes as well. They're going to go upstairs to check this. This might be a suspension for Geordie Barrett. There is a bit of carnage. Jordan Patai does not look too flash at all. Oh, making direct head contact. This doesn't sound good. And I was out in Yankees, Efta's hairstyle, F the nutritionist, and Efta's career. Yeah, oh. Yeah, Geordie Barrett trying to tackle too high. And he's actually knocked out Jordan Patai right when he's made that contact. Charging on and then boom. Right on the jaw, Geordie to Geordie. It's going to be a yellow card and on report. I just mentioned about how he hadn't had the biggest standout game. Goes over and checks on Jordan Patai, says, you're all right. It's a nice little touch there, but it's probably going to be at least yellow, if not red, in this one. There, Geordie, you idiot. hang on. Nah, Jordan Pattaya should be off the field here. And I'm not just saying that because of the yellow card. I'm saying that because he looked like he was knocked unconscious. And the medics have gone, oh, no, she's all right. He's a tough man. But, like, he was face down in the dirt for a long... That's Hunter Paisami. They're taking off the wrong guy, even though he also got knocked out almost a little bit earlier on. So they need to take Jordan Pattaya off, I believe. They've only just worked out that Hunter Paisami's not the flashiest. Anyone with eyeballs could tell you that after he got dropped by Braden Aosi. We're going to find out what kind of impact that has. That game has been going on forever. It's been a long one. To be honest, like the second half, only 16 minutes gone. It's felt like about 30 or so. McGreely is on the field for Hunter Paisami, who I wouldn't be surprised if he fails his HIA because he did get knocked down earlier on and looked like he was seeing stars. Now back across to the right-hand side. Good low tackle made by Peter Lakai. Now McDermott. This is where they can make the most of it. That looked close to forward. But Suriasi Vunevalu. Scrum cats need to be mandatory. Yeah, although they don't help that much in some regards. I think they did all the studies on it, and it's more so that it just helps you not get cauliflower ear and get your ears all messed up. Back to the right-hand side. Looks like there's a bit of wrestling going on between two of the props. A tackle again is made, or is it? Penny Ravai tries to get back up to his feet. That was double movement on the ground, but it's going to be let slid. Or let slided. Slid would be the word in that case. Oh, it's been dropped. And that would have been Jock Campbell running straight to the try line, but it went wrong. And Milking says by the Mick, I still can't believe Jordy Pattaya's out there. Like, because he was literally out. He was doing that. But, oh, okay, they've got another foul play review. I think this will be for Penny Ravai, and I think it was Pori Rakiti Stones. They were having a bit of a wrestle on the ground. Oh. Oh no, Geordie Barrett's is going to be upgraded to a red card due to the lack of mitigation. Now Barrett will not be able to continue in this match in 20 or so minutes. I believe they will be able to go back to full men on the field. Not AAMI pretending. No, you can see right there. He went slightly limp. So unless he's very good. And like straight away his teammate actually did check on him. He kind of tried to protect him on the ground. So I don't think... Oh, hey, what a surprise. They're going to take Jordy Pattaya, who got knocked out, off for an HIA. Gotta love player safety. He only took 2 more contacts since getting knocked out. And red card, like they've just said, longer than he should have been out there. The commentators not happy with how long it took to get him off the field. Yeah, he's still not walking right, Jordan Pattaya. And it's somewhere that you can choose to use it, says Mr. Allin. Now, it's going to be a new change. So they have lost Hunter Paisami and Jordan Pattaya. So it's Harry McLaughlin-Phillips coming off the bench. And good acting, says Spider Mick. I mean, if he fails his HIR, then he's done even better, I guess, with his acting. Which I honestly don't think he'll pass it. I think that he took one that really rattled the cage. Penalty goes the way of the Reds. Feet falling out from underneath the Hurricanes front row. It's just the most dashing sports commentator ever. I don't know about that, Roof. I'm probably the one who is the most sleep deprived of all of them. Okay, for the touch from Tom Lina goes out. Yeah, just collapsing there on this near side. I believe it was their replacement 18 and Pasalio Tosi. Now being thrown in, nicely taken at the back. Looks like he got a flat tyre. Says Fluffy. Now rolling more for the Reds. They're over. Matt Faisler scores it. I think that they'll just very quickly check this to make sure it's a part of the same maul. And then if it is, It will be the try for the Reds, and they would take the lead here with the man advantage. Okay, now fight night, Owen Farrell versus Bone Barrow. Who wins? I honestly do think Owen Farrell there. Controversial call. Oh, I think he was just bound. Oh, okay, he wasn't bound, but we're going to see it here. He was hanging on. Oh, no, he's all right there because he did break off just beforehand. So, yeah, he's completely fine. Great try for the Reds. Oh, good there, Farrell. Definitely, he's got that bulldog instinct, fighter of note. That's the thing. When you shoulder charge enough people to the head, you start to get a bit of a chin on you because people will knock you around when it's your turn to get hit. AAMI needs a new mobile phone with the loudest alarm. Yeah. To be fair, my phone is very old. And it's almost at its stage of not working anymore. Every time I charge it, it heats up majorly. Like it's like a pocket warmer. And also, it just, doesn't really work. So I think new phone, hopefully somewhere down the line, I'll be able to afford one. That one's going to be kicked out on the full from Brett Cameron. Off the reset, goes slightly wrong there. And I'll back Twinkle Toes Barrett. Also, you're saying his quickness would get him around in the boxing match up against Owen Farrell. That's the thing. I know that they've done the boxing and whatnot for Rugby League. I wonder if they'd ever do it for Rugby Union. Probably not, seeing as they're trying to cut down on HIA and kind of head knocks of sorts. Oh, we have good there. Oh, we beat up Bowden Barrett. Next one, Big Evan versus Nick White. I'd say first round knockout would have to be in play. And also, Reds and Pacific are the most improved teams this year, in my opinion. And it looks like he needs some donations in the chat team. Let's get him a new phone, says D-Funk. 19 minutes remaining. Tate McDermott. Oh, wrestled down was Tom Liner. Okay, well, you obviously don't have to tell Blues Nate twice because he was probably already sitting on that one for like 20 minutes. Well, thank you very much, Nate. Usually appreciated. Ball's not looking good, says Will. And there's the start, says Blues Nate. And I thought for Barrett, the only saving grace was that he was absorbing the collision, but obviously not enough of a mitigating factor, given the shoulder-to-head contact and ka-ching. And payday for me tomorrow, so I'll get you. And the next stream, bro, says the Funk. Oh, I thought there was another penalty to the Reds. I could get a Nokia for $30. The thing is, if I got a Nokia, that would not break. And you know it wouldn't because those things were built to last. Like, people have their Nokias still after 20 years and they still go. And Legend Nate says the Funk there. And also Nick White, of course. He has to look at Eben with those ballerina eyes, and Eben concedes. Looks like Caleb Delaney is going to be making his way from the field. Justin Sangster will make his way out. Or as I like to call him, the rugby version of Kyle Mills. Some people may not even know who Kyle Mills is. And here's the Mighty Reds again. Boom. Says Roof. Got you, lad. Says Blues Nate. Ryan Smith making his way off the field now. 18. This half has felt slow. I don't think it has been in terms of the clock, but it's felt like it. You just play Snake all day? Absolutely. And that old school bowling game, I remember that way back in the day, how you used to be able to like control what way the ball was spinning. Is on like a really, really old phone that my dad had. But it wasn't as old as the original Nokia Snake, I don't think. Hey, mate, there's Rugby Union Dog. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. Advantage now for the Hurricanes. Flat pass from Roygaard. Goes off to Billy Proctor. 45 metres from the Reds line. Looked like he was shaping up for a kick there, Roygaard. And Love passes it straight into touch. But they'll go back to the halfway line for the penalty. I do that without a Nokia. Says Marco. How'd your evening go last night, Marco? Don't go into details, but hopefully it all went smoothly for you. I know you mentioned that you had to pop away and finish some business. That one hasn't found touch from the Hurricanes. They haven't been able to finish off that chance. Kick down the middle of the field from the Reds. Nicely taken by Ruben Love with a great wide pass. Across to Brett Cameron, Kinney Naholo. Pinning his ears back, but look for a risky offload. Proctor's been able to regather. Now on to the ball. McWright has to release it. No, idle hands. And give details, says Fluffy, and Rocket Cool Hamish. I can get an alarm clock, says Ruth. Ruben Love out wide, goes to Asafua Moore. He bumps off Tate McDermott, comes back in, but he's managed to get the ball away there, Asafua Moore. Almost scored the try earlier on. Didn't quite get it in the end. Big contact from Basilio Tosi. And we well, mate. I went to sleep straight after, says Marco. Must have been all tuckered out afterwards. To the left-hand side now. Billy Proctor pop pass in behind to Ruben Love. Once again, Fraser McRae trying to get the turnover. Every breakdown he's in there, waiting to see if the referee says to him, you're allowed it. Back to the right-hand side. Billy Proctor. Hurricanes need a try and they need it soon. Now, of course, they are playing with only 14 men on the field at the moment, but that will change in about maybe 10 or so minutes. They will be back to 15 for the final few moments of this entertaining clash. Now, around the short side, Isaiah Walker, Leo Wiri. Good leg strength shown by him. Ball's still there. Peter Lakai. Off to Pori Rakati Stones. Last moments of this contest are going to be very telling for these two teams. Another advantage going in favour of the Hurricanes. Now they're starting to push a little bit harder towards that try line. Passing out wide. Josh Morby taken down just 2 metres out. Roigard short side snipes through and he scores himself another try. One of the most attacking options when going round the side of the breakdown, Cam Roigard. And he gets it once again. Try time Cam Roigard, says Darren. He's keeping them in this game at the moment. Cam Roigard. 31 points to 33. Just busting his way through Josh Morby. And then Roigard, he saw the passing option on the outside, so sold it as if he was going out there. And then just went through himself. Does finish the door, finishes the job. That boy has that gap. He's just a very talented player when it comes to being able to pick where he needs to run next. Like this and like that. There we go. Also strength and great work by the Hurricanes forwards. Incredibly smart play, recognising their depleted backline. Says DJ Shack. Yeah, the forwards really stepped up there, and that kick is good from Cameron, which makes the score 33 points each after 66 and a half minutes. I can tell you right now, the second half has gone extremely slow, but when it comes to those last 10 minutes and either side start scoring points of some sort, the timer is just going to go completely. Look at there, Finley Christie shivering in his carrot-coloured undergarments. Your time is up, buddy. Cam Roigard is here. Says a Marco. That one's going to be kicked off long by Tom Liner. Taken by Billy Proctor, who fires it across to Braden Yorsi. Had a lot of running meters all throughout this contest. And also we their Friday Rebels versus Pacifica, says Bhavani. And then also the Highlanders taking on the Waratahs on Friday night. That game is going to be taking place, I believe, in Australia. It seems both teams are thunderstruck. No, says Ruth. Now 30 metres out. Matt Faisal with another line-out throw here. Haven't seen a huge amount of line-outs throughout the second 40 minutes. That is going to be stolen by the Hurricanes. And Justin Sangster has his hands on that ball. Trying to get that turnover in the breakdown. Reds being persistent. That was Cormac Daly. Thought it was worth that crack. A high from Cam Roigard. drifting towards the touchline, beautifully taken, and he wasn't touched there. The replacement 23, Matt Greeley. You must take bets watching becomes better, says Bhavani. No, but it doesn't. Like, it gets better when you're winning, but if you're losing, then all that happens is you develop an addiction of trying to get your money back, and then if you continue losing, then it just goes worse for you. Like, if you like doing that, fair play, and it probably gets you more invested in the contest, but at the same time, you're playing a very risky game that can go very wrong extremely quickly. And the harder the one hits, the harder the other replies, like tennis, says Ruth. Safa Moore about to go for this line-out throw. Nicely taken by Isaiah Walker-Leawiti. Now going short side. There wasn't a lot of space available there for Lasanga, one of the newer players for the Hurricanes of this season. I also see that they've made the change of Geordie Phil-Ewan. And Hayes says, Pop said it's welcome in, mate. You are doing well. It's been put high. Surprising that they took Cam Roigard off, but looks like they are all inside of the 10 metres. They are all offside, the Hurricanes. Colin raise you 3 frozen chickens. Decent. Plus, since they're frozen, they can last for a little while, can't they? Have them at any time of the month. And caught in the middle of the railway track, no time to turn back, says Roof. Now we're just quoting Thunderstruck by the sounds of it. Phil Ewan. I think he's the one with the ex-Springboks father and grandfather, but he wants to play for the All Blacks. He has said, a long shot or a long way to the shop. If you want a piggy chop, says Fluffy. Now rolling maul, Siruru. Trying to get this one to gain a few more metres, going short side. And Phil Ewan has been able to drag that one down. Penalty advantage against Peter Luckeye. In fact, it might just be the knock-on advantage. Round the side, going short side. Going back for the original penalty. It was almost a try for Matt Greeley. The Reds from Western Aussie Perth says, Ruth, no, they are Queensland. For where they are located, a long way to the shop if you want a sausage roll, says Will. And there as well. I wouldn't mind a sausage roll. But I don't think the shop here sells sausage rolls, which is extremely sad. Now, throwing this one in, Matty Faisler. And 33 all, but the Reds are 5 metres out from the Hurricanes line, which puts them in the prime position to be able to cross this try line again. McDermott with the flat ball to Greeley. Tackled by Phil Ewan. What's that? The crocodile, or was that the crocodile? And sausage roll sold out. That's the try though for the Reds. Broken through the side, and it's Penny Ravai who's crossed the try line now. Close match, didn't pick this. Says, was there from Nazi Williams. Just going to check this one. I think Penny Ravai was saying like that. So I don't know whether or not that means that he's done double movement. Oh, no, he's knocked it on for Penny Ravai. That was their chance to take the lead. And now, looks like that might be that chance gone. I'm going to go like this. No try. Knock on. Okay, before the line, which makes it a Hurricanes scrum. In this case. Okay, then, mate, I'll have a kangaroo special on toast with extra chili, please. And today's games really shows how Nick should have thought that, or should have called that try and wait for the replay. Says Mr. Orlin. And good grief. Says Fluffy. And Few. Says Fluffy there as well. So currently, Hurricanes are $3.80 underdogs. Go on and win this game, even though these two sides are sitting on the exact same points. But they are only a few metres out from their own line, of course, which does make it very difficult for the Hurricanes. They'll be looking to try and win that penalty advantage if it's available. The Reds have really stepped up today. Going to have a rumble with the Kangaroos and the outback, bruh. Says Marco. And of course, if it stays this way at the end of full time, we will be going to extra time, ladies and gentlemen. Golden point, which is 10 minutes of out-and-out action. First team to score points to get themselves the victory. That one has gone into touch. Thought about the quick throw, Matt Greeley. Doesn't now, though. I'm going to have a rumble. I know I read that one. And Nick White has a good mustache. Not as good as our Hamish. Oh, I think his is probably a little bit better than mine. His is quite long, isn't it, Nick White? Kind of goes sideways. I don't think mine, even if I tried to, I don't think it would curl like Nick White's does. Nah. Nowhere near long enough. I don't quite have that like cartoon villain look as of yet. One day we might be able to. It's like a Safa Moore has got a very sore leg. Oh, is he cramping? I don't know if he is or whether he's just injured at this point, but still 8 minutes remaining and 3 minutes 40 remaining on the Geordie Barrett red card before the Hurricanes can be back to 15 men. Nicely claimed by the Reds on the 22. Offloaded back to the replacement, Josh Nassar. Looks like James O'Reilly recently making his way onto the field. Zai Wakaliwiri going for the turnover. He's been told no, though, by the referee. Daly, the Irish representative. Getting closer, John Bryant. Now, Tate McDermott goes back across to Cormac Daly. He's touched the ball twice in a row here. Getting close to the try line. Hurricanes need to make sure they don't give away the penalty advantage. They were rushing up there. Phil Ewan. It's gone down to ground. McDermott goes back across to Daly now. There's a lot of persistence coming from this red side. I think if they get a penalty advantage, they would back going for the 3. Still there for them. Now out wide, stolen by Ruben Love. Great bit of work from him to be able to get the interception. If he hadn't caught that, I believe the Reds would have been gone. Phil Ewan has been told to use it. Hasn't got a lot of protection. The ball bounces back to Isaiah Wakaliwiri after it was charged down. Now Phil Ewan, this time I would like to think he's got a bit of protection. Yes, he does. He's got 2 or 3 of the Hurricanes players protecting that kick. Much better work from the Canes on defence. We honour the owners of the land, our land, liquor land, says Marco. And Reds look thirsty for those cup of tea, please. And petrol heads, love a rally racing Grand Prix. And I love, says Nuzzy Williams. And Jesus, says Fluffy. 5.5 minutes remaining. Some of them are dangerous, man, says Nuz Williams. We're talking about the sneeze or the players? Nicely claimed again for the Reds. McDermott going across to Josh Fluke in the midfield. So like it was mentioned, if it is golden point, would be if these two sides are equal at the end of the time. Well pulled out by Billy Proctor. And we say them. Who exactly is them? Now it's kicked him behind. There's 2 players chasing. He's got back there though. The ball is loose. And it's kicked out by Riley Higgins. They're going to check to see if there was a knock on here from the Reds. But the Hurricanes are just out from their own line with no space to work with. Okay, 13's lost the ball. It will once again be a scrum for the Hurricanes. They need to win a penalty here to get out of their own area. Because at the moment, they just have nowhere to play with. Everything's happening inside of the 10 metres or so of their goal line. Josh Fluke disappointed. He knows how close that could have been if it had gone well. Scrum feed now for the Hurricanes. They can't really flirt with the danger of trying to win a scrum penalty, though. It either happens or it doesn't. 4 minutes remaining, though. It's a very tight contest between these two teams. The Hurricanes, their odds of winning have gone up to $5 now. And Declan playing in, and what a game so close. We like these close games, don't we? We do indeed, Johnny. Ball is fed in. They're going backwards there, the Hurricanes. So they have to use it, and Brady Orsi breaks through. He is an absolute threat when he starts pumping his legs, but so is McWright. I think he was asking for the penalty there. He hasn't got it. Fergus Burke has kicked that one into touch. The Reds do not take it quickly. That relieves the pressure again, but they are once again stuck just out from their own area. Creativity and scary. I love them. Witch doctors are wise men. They have the most amazing artwork, and who are you supporting in, or who are we supporting in this game? Very good question. So Lisi Rayasi makes his way onto the field now for the Hurricanes. They are back to 15 for each of these two sides. Now Fraser McWright taken down early. They're on the halfway line now for the Reds. This is exactly where the Hurricanes want to keep him, because when they're only a few minutes out from their own line, I don't think they've got a chance of really being able to stop the Reds for long enough. I'm back the other way. Good shot on Josh Nassar coming in. Protecting it well for the Reds. Penny Ravai. This is quite intense. The finish of this one. Trying to find that gap. It is the youngster Harry McLaughlin Phillips. Dragged down by his collar. Now McDermott goes in behind. Handling needs to be perfect. Pangagasi. I review some of your psychic powers. It's dropped by the big man, Penny Ravai. I mentioned how the handling had to be good. Did not good. In that case, who bet the draw, says Mr. All-In. Did I make a draw an option? I can't actually remember if I did or not, but at the moment, yeah, the draw seems extremely likely at this point in time, unless the Hurricanes can win themselves a penalty here. Then they'd have a good chance of being able to attack towards the corner. Like I mentioned, if we see a stoppage and we reach full time, it's going to golden point, ladies and gentlemen. Who doesn't love a bit of golden point, eh? It's a close one, though. 100 seconds remaining on the clock. And mate, where was the draw? Well, the thing is, because they go to golden point, there is no chance of a draw, if that makes sense. But, yeah, a draw would have been a good shout. Because I remember one other time I put a draw as an option and someone got really angry because they said, no matter what, there's a winner. So I kind of took it out. But next time we'll have a draw, I think, when these two sides are playing. Big scrum from the Reds again. They're definitely out muscling them. Riley Higgins, short ball to Billy Proctor. And the chance now out wide. Kenny Naholo doesn't have the pace that he needs. Oh, it's Rayasi, in fact. And they're going to hold him up only a few meters out from the line. The Hurricanes need to get this ball into touch. Oh, they're starting to roll it towards the try line. And it's being pushed into touch. No, it hasn't. Still in the field of play. The Reds have got one scrum here. Now, I have a feeling that the Reds, with where they are on the field, would be pretty happy to kick this ball into touch and go to golden point time. But almost the chance. Golden point should consist of a big puncher. Who has the most people standing up should be made the winners. And Juni's animated voice says Nars Williams. And also we have there, come on the cane, says Greg. That was their chance. But brilliant work from Fraser McWright. Ended up holding up Salisi Rayasi, and once he had him up, he was not letting him go. But should Rayasi have found the pass? I believe so. I think that he needed to go back on the inside there to go to Billy Proctor. He just got held up. We hear the siren at the moment. What Real Rugby heard here? Penalty try time, says Fluffy. She's calling down Simran. Says Nate. Right. So the scrum needs to take place. And if it does, and the Reds kick this one into touch, then we will more than likely go to golden point time. I don't see the Reds looking to attack from this close. There's no point. Definitely not when they can go to golden point and find themselves in a much better position. See how they go. Cross-Church Electricals had an interesting one there. Now a big scrum from the Hurricanes though. Oh. Tell you what, it's called as we're going to have a reset. And I don't know about that. That was very close to the Hurricanes winning that penalty. It's about as close as you get. Oh, the phone's ringing. Someone's ringing to say, are you watching the Hurricanes game? Go to Golden Point. The answer, of course, is yes. Smash the like button for Amish. Says Darren Lincoln sizzling. Reds are like Johnny Depp's shorts. Says Roof, and also Hamish, I mean. And I'm G Roof. Hi, long time no see. And we have got there, yikes, has said something about koalas and bums. And hello, says Blues Nate and Dan. We are going to Golden Point. Looks that way. Ball is fed in. The Reds will kick it into touch. And this game is going to go to Golden Point time. The front row of the Hurricanes are not happy, but now it means that we go to extra time and we learn exactly who will be winning this contest. Whoever's rung, it's at that stage of it was like, please leave a message after the beep. And they've just accidentally left their phone on. I can hear them talking. That's cool. It costs you $1.99 per minute. It's going to be an expensive one for them if they don't. Oh, now they've hung up. And what a game, says DJ Shack. Yeah, 33-33 at the end of the regular time interval. Now we go to extra time. Bosses for you, it's Taylor Swift, says Blues Nate. Also, who's kick off? So they do have to do a coin toss to determine who is kicking off and what way they are going. Is it George? It is not George, no. George would normally spam my phone with phone calls until I pick up. It's normally his system. But we are waiting to find out exactly who will have the toss here. Going to Golden Point time for the first time in the Super Rugby Pacific competition. Don't forget to wipe the keyboard down, says Mr. Allin. Also, yeah, thanks, says Ruth. It looks like TJ Perenara just giving them a little bit of advice. I believe if the Hurricanes are the team that are kicking off, they will try and kick deep into the Reds' territory, try and trap them in a similar fashion to what we saw in this one. Golden Point to determine who wins at the moment. The Hurricanes have got themselves the advantage. And Ty, it is not no. They will go to Golden Point time to determine who is the victor in this match. Wet Wipes, fantastic invention. And also we usually leave it there for the next person. Get all over their fingers, says Marco. But just holding up that rolling maul just out from the try line there. I still feel Reasi should have gone with the ball on the inside, but he decided against it. We've got there fluffy nose sliced breeders. Oh, they've just talked about the fact that Geordie Barrett is not an option to be able to kick the long boot today. The second half, or the first half of extra time is just around the corner now. So it's taken some deep breaths, and it feels like a fitting way to end the Super Round of Super Rugby. So anyone who doesn't know how Golden Point works, it means that no matter what, first point scored, that team does win. The other team, of course, will receive the bonus point for being within 7. But we are about to see the coin toss, I believe. There's a lot of deep breaths being taken. I love that, Koro. Says yikes. And also we have their draw game, says Bhavani. So the coin toss has taken place. Okay, Hurricanes are kicking off from left to right. Now, I believe the Reds actually decided what way they wanted to go, which means the Hurricanes get the kickoff. Now, I'll be honest, I feel like you actually want to be the team who is kicking off here, because you don't want to be just out from your own line, or else that pressure just keeps on building and building and building, and eventually the line break does end up occurring. But like they're saying, great way to finish the Super Round. New Zealand lost to Australia at home. Can New Zealand reach the World Test Championship final? With whom else does New Zealand have to play more matches? I think that they've got a series up against England later on, maybe. I can't actually remember who else New Zealand have But their next games are a wee way away. I don't think they've got any test matches for quite some time. And how's the weather on your side? I hope all is good. And Oswego, the Canes will still be third on the ladder. Cheers, Greg. That is true. Right. Super Rugby, Super Round, Golden Point. Just about ready to go for this game. It's going to be the Hurricanes kicking off from left to right. And Brett Cameron, the last thing he wants, of course, is to put this ball into touch. But I believe the Hurricanes will kick it deep into the Reds territory. Now, it's going to be kicked off. Oh, they've gone short. That's a terrible kickoff from Brett Cameron. Goes straight into the hands of the Reds. Luckily for the Hurricanes, though, the Reds have almost taken it back to their own 22 anyway. It's raining men. Hallelujah. Now, back into the pocket. Be kicked downfield. Nicely taken. The halfway line by Fergus Burke. Now going for a kick of his own down the middle of the field. Cleaned up at the back from Tom Liner, who has to kick it towards the touchline. Whereas the match being held, it is in Melbourne. So, yeah, neither side have really the home advantage. The Reds are the closer of the two teams. Nancy Gratz Hamish does it again fabulous. And congratulations, both teams. Nobody gave up, but they are still playing, Ruth. They are here in Golden Point time. The winner of this contest, or the first team to get points on the board in Golden Point time, will walk away with the victory. Here comes Salisi Reasi. Always runs very upright, which is why they were able to hold him up in the last rolling maul. Peter Lakai. Leon looks to the short side, gets it off to the big man in the 18 jersey, Tossi. Leon again goes back to Peter Lakai. Fergus Burke across to Billy Proctor. Almost went through. Runs straight at Fraser McWright. It's been told no hands. There was a knock on though. Well, if you told him no hands and he's the reason Billy Proctor knocked it on, what does that mean though? Surely hands in the right, but it's going to be the scrum feed for the Reds here. We've got to look whether or not it was Fraser McWright who caused, no, there it is there before the breakdown. So that is all right. That is completely fine, and it is the knock on from Billy Proctor. We have got there the series against Australia and New Zealand is always a win. What's the reason for this? Do New Zealand players come under pressure and tell me something else? Says I think Australia are just a better side. Like it's unfortunate for New Zealand, but Australia just do know how to win. Whether they're playing in Australia or New Zealand, they do seem to win the series. Now, ball's going to be fed in by Tate McDermott. They're currently on their own 22. We're in Golden Point time, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of this contest will be the team that is able to get points first. Now back across to the side, Matt Greeley trying to go down the wing, tackled by Josh Morby. Are we in the matrix? Either way, the koala is going to get it. Says, yikes. In what regard are you meaning gonna get it? Yikes. A big shot. Back across McDermott. Goes to Tom Liner, Siriuru. Loose ball, but picked up by McLaughlin Phillips. Behind Siriuru again. It's going to be put downfield by the Hurricanes. We're up to 83 minutes at the moment. These two sides could still be playing for another 5 to 10 minutes here. Awkward bouncing ball. Reasi is there to clean it up. Now Ruben Love starts to run it back, looking for the 50-22. Bouncing awkwardly. Almost sits up from him. He tries to kick it forward, but doesn't make connection with the ball. And Proctor picks up Josh Fluke and drives it towards the touchline. In fact, it's Jock Campbell. Now they're back inside of their 22 here. The Reds have been under the side, or they have been the side. There's been a lot more under pressure recently throughout this Golden Point time. And that is because they were the team that received the kickoff rather than the team that had the kickoff. Kick downfield. Looks like Jock Campbell is still down from that big shot that was on him. Nice step from the youngster. Tom Liner got the offload away to Kalani Thomas. On the halfway line now for the Reds. We're up to 84 minutes. The big man Cormac Daly charges forward once more. Across to the left-hand side, Josh Fluke in the midfield. The Reds, now for the first time in this Golden Point time, are having phases inside of the Hurricanes half. McDermott back across to Liner. Great low tackle made there. Or was he onside? I don't know if he was there. For Lasanga, penalty to the Hurricanes though on the breakdown. And the score insane, 33-33. It certainly is. It's nearly time to give my wife the mighty Tim Tam slam. You're a busy man, Johnny. Of course, after this live stream, ladies and gentlemen, we will actually have Rugby Itch coming on the channel for a little bit of a chat about what has happened. We didn't expect the game to go to Golden Point after this one, of course. One's going to be kicked into touch. Now sitting 85 minutes through. Okay, they've just worked out it is in extra time on the scoreboard. The Hurricanes have got themselves the line out. My heart is going beat, or it's going to beat out of my chest. Says Badza. The Hurricanes, they are still in it. They did, of course, have that red card in Geordie Barrett, so they do not have him as a kicking option. But it's claimed by Isaiah Walker-Leawiti. Now Brett Cameron goes across to Billy Proctor. Short ball to Peter Lakai. Either side just wanting that penalty advantage at this point to be able to walk away with the victory after a penalty. But it looks like New Zealand side, the Hurricanes, they're going for the try. Out wide to Josh Morby. Has to cut back inwards. Great strength shown by him. Keep it in the field of play for the Hurricanes. 10 metres out. Now 5. Phil Ewan goes to Reasi on the short side. Losing his footing there was one of the Reds players. Back across to Peter Lakai. They're up to 6 paces. 1 metre from the line. The big man Tossi is over. And the Hurricanes have won in extra time. And Pasilio Tossi has been the man to score it. That wasn't even a sentence. Tim's coming over. Says Simran there. And also Minty Tammy. And also they're going to give him a gooey man. Oh. Come on, Canes. Just score, please. Says Bad Sam Big W. Says Mr. All In. Geordie Barrett. You can see that he is the most relieved Hurricanes player of all because of that red card. But Tossi, the replacement tie prop, he was showing frustrations during the regular 80 minutes when he was on the field. He felt he won a couple scrum penalties. The ref disagreed with him, and he's just slammed that ball over the try line. Whenever New Zealand plays a rugby, what is the celebration called for the players before the start of the match? So it is haka is what it is called. But it's not really a celebration. It's more of the cultural, like kind of, I guess, war dance is the best way of describing it. And the koala ass won't be abused tonight. Cheers for the call. Says yikes. Well, that is good news for the koala then. And come on up the Canes. Says Pads Ablaze. Great work from the Hurricanes. But also fantastic work from their opposition in this game, the Reds. Like that was a battle and a half and a great way to finish the super round of the Super Rugby competition. Builds a lot of hype for next week when the Hurricanes go head-to-head with the Blues. And also the the Reds, they will be taking on the Chiefs. If they took the Hurricanes into this deep of the water, what can they do up against another New Zealand side just around the corner? So because it is Golden Point as well, ladies and gentlemen, it meant that New Zealand, I don't believe, got to take a shot at the post. At least I don't remember them doing so. The score at full time will be 38 points to 33. And on your Tossi, says Blues Nate. And also, what a game. And congrats to both teams. Well fought battle. And also, we have got there Tossi, the most unlikeliest of heroes for the Hurricanes, says DJ Shack. And Fire Commentary says Mr. All In there. But yeah, final moments. Golden Point to get the win. I mean, the Hurricanes, they'll admit that they wanted to get this done a lot earlier, but they weren't able to. Is it over? It certainly is. The Hurricanes winning it. 33 points for the Reds, 38 for the Hurricanes. Oh, there we go. It has just updated itself. And did I say it right? Please do it. You are also from New Zealand, says Sudeep. So yeah, you did spell it correctly. Look at the Aussies looking good this season of Super Rugby. Kiwi teams beware. Says Marco and let's go, says Darren. And over and out, says Ruth in there as well. But some statistics for this half. I feel like there were a few players who probably broke the 100 in terms of the amount of meters that they were able to make throughout this 80-minute period. You also mana wave me, brother, says Marco. And thanks so much, Church. So tomorrow we have still got more live streams as well, I should mention, for the sevens, ladies and gentlemen. So we will be covering them on the channel. There was 622 meters run by the Hurricanes throughout this game, 421 meters run for the Reds. We saw 39 defenders beaten. 39 for the Hurricanes. But still went right down to the wire. 117 meters made by Braden Iossi. He's got to be up there for a man of the match contender. No conversion, not for golden point time. So they aren't allowed to take the kick because, of course, no matter what, you're going to be within 7. So yeah, golden point time, you do end up just going to the end of the game. But Roygaard also getting himself 2 tries. 9 defenders beaten, 1 clean break. He's probably another real man of the match contender, alongside Ruben Love with his 70 meters carried, 2 defenders beaten, and he also got himself 2 tries for the Reds. The most meters made was for Josh Fluke with 68. I thought he was absolutely brilliant in the midfield. Get him on here. He is very close to coming on. That sucks, says Greg. Yeah, unfortunately, just because it's golden point. Like, if they wanted to take the conversion, they had to score it during the regular 80-minute period rather than having it in a golden point. But Pataya and Paisami, I think that this game could have been very different had those two not been off for an HIA. Neither of them returning as well, so they were both warranted for making their way from the field. Just quickly, the stats. Peter Lakai made 22 tackles, 18 made by TK Howden and Isaiah Walker-Leawiri. And then in the tackling stats, Siru Uru making 17, and then Mick Wright making 19 tackles with 2 turnovers. But nonetheless, ladies and gents, now is that time where we will talk to Tim, see what he thinks of this contest, because it was a bit of a special way to close the Super Rugby Pacific Super Round. But hello, Tim. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm just lost for words, man. I am just lost for words for what I've just witnessed. That was a great game of rugby. Really just probably the best game you could ask for, really, just to promote Super Rugby Pacific on a whole. And yeah, to go to bonus points, and kind of the first time we've seen the golden point scenario this season as well. So yeah, it all played out well. I mean, I felt a bit bad for the Reds because it was really in their favor for most of the game, falling on from that Joey Barrett red card. And
yeah,
they just weren't clinical enough. And again, there was just times where like they let go of the ball, and it was vice versa actually. Both teams made mistakes, not allowing him to kind of get that final try, which obviously then went into the kind of bonus point scenario. But what a game of rugby! I mean, even for the Hurricanes to win this with a man down is impressive. So yeah, you obviously have to give them credit. But yeah. I mean, what was your take on the game? Because I was just blown away.
I think that the Reds, they were a lot more competitive than a lot of people anticipated. And it was almost the other way around, because a lot of people thought that this one would be the high-scoring game and then maybe a little bit one-sided, whereas that other match between the Brumbies and the Chiefs, people thought that that would go down to the wire. But currently, the way that it sits, it does seem like maybe the Reds are the team to beat out of Australia rather than the Brumbies. Although we'll have to wait and see, of course, how the Brumbies do fire back in the near future of the competition.
Yeah, I was saying this in my stream as well, like where I think like it's interesting because the Australian teams, like, it's kind of what we asked from before the season started. We wanted them to kind of challenge these New Zealand teams, and they are doing that. They are actually doing that this season. And we've already seen the Waratahs beat the Crusaders, which is probably the upset you could say of the week. And then this was probably the best game of the week, I'd say, in terms of the Melbourne Super Round. But yeah, no, it's good. And again, the Reds, you could technically say they're kind of the team. They've had the best result against the Waratahs in the opening round, and they've just come inches closest from beating the Hurricanes. So they're probably seen in the best area at the moment. But I mean, if you go back towards the Brumbies, then yeah, it's difficult because after each week, then you'll be like, it could change just like that in a moment of an instance. But yeah, no, it's good for Super Rugby just to have more competition. So yeah, all happy there.
Well, of course, the Blues next week, they have to take on the Hurricanes.
Yes.
So are you feeling confident in that game, or do you think that maybe
I'm confident?
You're already
I'm very confident but I have a lot of reasons why. Just one, because they're not going to have Jordy Barrett available for that game now because he's red carded. So he's definitely going to miss out that game. I'm not sure how it works with Super Rugby. I know it's obviously a bit different compared to what we've seen in the Six Nations, for example, like where whenever a red card's given, they kind of look over it and then say they kind of determine how long the player's out for. But I believe for Super Rugby, you only just miss one game. So I know no matter what, they're going to miss Jordy Barrett won't be available for that game against the Blues next week. And I believe, the Blues are they've just done well.
You're about to say they're just better?
No, I don't want to say better.
Was about to come out?
They've just proven to me that they have the ability to win Super Rugby this year. And I think the only two teams I've seen that clearly from is the Chiefs and the Blues. They're just the two teams that are going to be eyeing out that kind of top place, in my opinion, I believe, for the regular season. And then, of course, when it comes towards the playoffs, that's where I think the Chiefs have the edge over the Blues because, I think they've been a better playoff team over the past 2 years. So that's obviously going to come into their favor then. But, it's going to be good. I'm very excited, obviously, for next week. We also have trying to think off the top of my head here. We have Fiji Nura versus Crusaders. We have Waratahs versus Highlanders. That could be a good game. You have Reds versus Chiefs. So there's some good games next week. So it'll be some good rugby. But gosh, I'm just it was great rugby.
It was a great way to finish the round, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah.
Yes, it's a shame that we didn't have a sellout crowd watching that game because I feel like if we did, the crowd would have been going absolutely mental for this contest because there was just so much back and forth. Every time the Reds thought that they were almost getting away, the Hurricanes would fire back. Then every time the Hurricanes thought that they were going to get the win, then the Reds would come back. Got their Cam was limping, but still could be good. Yeah, I think Cam Roigard hopefully will be all right. The thing is, Jordy Barrett, I'll be honest, didn't really impress me today. He didn't do a huge amount, so maybe that logic of Jordy Barrett's not there, so we're going to be all right, might be a little bit flawed if they put someone else who is a bit more dangerous in that midfield. Would
fill in there? Well, that's the question. Who would fill in? Because they don't have a 12. They don't. I can't think of a 12.
I think Riley Higgins, even though he's a young guy, you're making that face, but did you see him last year?
No, he's great, but the problem is that he's not like it's Jordy Barrett. Like it's a way this is the thing where you're going against the Blues and they have a ton of depth in terms of that center position when they have the likes of Bryce Heem, Harry Plummer, Reiko. Who else? There's one I'm forgetting one off the back already.
Harry Plummer. You already got him.
I already mentioned him. There's
Rico Ioane.
There's one more.
I'm just going to start saying the ones that you've said so that you get confused.
Yeah, exactly. Just to repeat it. Look, no matter what, I'm confident that the Blues can win next week. I'm very confident in that. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens now because, if I look at the table now just quickly, I think going off that, I think the Chiefs should be ahead at the number 1 spot because they've had 2 good wins off the back. Yeah, so they have a goal difference of 38, whereas the Blues have a difference of 32. Yeah, so they're the only 2 teams that have 9 points at the moment. So it just shows you that it's a very competitive kind of league this time. And I think besides that, you have the Hurricanes, Reds, Highlanders, Brumbies, and the Rebels all on 5 points. That's crazy. And the Crusaders are down in, they're down in 10th. I love that. But anyway.
But for how long? That's the question.
Exactly.
Because that's the thing. We've got to think about this strategically, Tim. Let's just say, for argument's sake, the Blues finish 1st, Crusaders finish 8th. Guess who has to play the Crusaders?
I don't think the Crusaders are playing 8th, though. I'm finishing 8th, I mean. I don't think so. They're going to finish higher than that. I said in my prediction, the Crusaders would finish 5th, I think I said in mine.
Okay.
I think that's where I set them at the end of the season. Again, you never know. I mean, they're obviously towards a bad start, and they have to go to Fiji now to play Fiji Nura. So they could technically have 3 losses in a row because that's to go against Fiji and against Fiji Nura in Fiji. It's like you're playing. You're playing the best of the best in my opinion. When it comes, it's a different level. So they're gonna be up for that one. But
we could be brothers, Tim, apparently.
We could be
got very different accents, don't we?
Exactly. Yeah. Hamish must have a nice meal and relax now. Yep.
But of course, sevens tomorrow as well. And tell you what, Tim, what happened
I
in
can't
the
believe
sevens?
the amount of upsets I've seen in like I think it was actually Simran who told me like that she was gonna watch what was it, the Spain Fiji game, and I was like, okay, well Fiji's gonna win that easily, and then of course she's like, Spain's won. I'm like, what? No. And then I go back into the thing, I'm like, geez, Spain. And now it's like, what's gonna happen now is that you're gonna have France versus Ireland, and then Spain versus Great Britain. I mean, I think every result, like I could be wrong in saying this. I mean, besides the France USA one, I mean, you could technically, I mean, because again, you would say the USA are favorites just because they're at home. But if you're actually going off like who's the better team, you would say France. But then for the rest of the results, it's really been the underdog who's won each of the other ones. Because I would say, what you had off the back, Ireland beating Argentina, which I mean, that's just incredible. To be fair, we both did predict that Argentina wouldn't win this one. So we both did say that. But to don't even make it to the semis, like, I could be wrong in saying this. Did we get any of the four? I think the only team we got right is France, right? France is the only team.
So, yeah. But then saying that, who would have predicted that Samoa, New Zealand, South Africa, Fiji, Argentina would all miss out? Like, those are unheard of. But now we're going to get a new champion, more than likely. Spain, are they the dark horse? Can they go all the way and get themselves their first ever title? This is the first time they've ever made it to the semis, so they'll be on cloud 9 tomorrow.
Yeah.
See how they go in that matchup. But nonetheless, Tim, I think we should definitely tell the people about the Rugby Recap podcast, where we will be talking all things about this weekend of rugby, including, but not limited to, the Super Rugby round and also the upcoming sevens, where we will see maybe Dupont get his first ever sevens title.
Yeah, I kind of want that to happen. But again, Ireland's standing in their way in the semis, so we'll see what happens.
You can't predict it, can you? Because like now that we've seen those all happen, we're like, anyone can win it. I feel like I'm actually most intrigued. It sounds bad to say, but I'm intrigued about the Fiji versus Argentina game for 5th place. Because for me, that is almost the equivalent of a final, and I want to see how Argentina bounce back. Whether or not they get that killer instinct again, or whether now that they've lost one game, it's going to be the start of many in some sort of opposite to the winning streak.
I know I'm thinking ahead here, but I'm looking now towards the pools. What's going to be for the Hong Kong Sevens? It's going to be so uneven. I think like we're going to have like you could arguably have like South Africa, New Zealand, like Fiji, and I don't know, like Argentina all in one group. You could actually have something like that for the Hong Kong Sevens. So it's going to be massive. But yeah, well, sorry, I didn't see the comment you put up beforehand. But
that's all right. You didn't have to. It was an interesting one. I thought. I didn't read what happened beforehand, so I thought Fluffy wanted me to include my bikini pics in my CV, but
I don't think anyone wants to see that.
But, surely not. You know.
Gosh, that was just. Oh.
What a weekend, eh? And it's not over yet. Seven's still tomorrow going to be taking place. And then I believe the podcast will be up on Monday night. Yeah, definitely check out the podcast, guys. If you haven't already, check out the Rugby Recap. We'll be doing a review on there, obviously, for Super Rugby, as well as these sevens in terms of LA. We'll also just kind of give you our take on all the games there. We also did make predictions, by the way, for all the games of Super Rugby, so you'll be able to see if we were correct or not. But yeah, there you go. You can see in the live chat there. But yeah, but cool. Jeez. Oh well. I guess that is the end of a big day and a big round of Super Rugby Pacific. Next week, it's going to be action-filled once more. We'll still be here ready to go for the next leg. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this live stream, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Be sure to also check out Rugby Itch. If you don't know how to spell it, you want to just duck very quickly, Tim? Oh. There you go. It's on his wall. Not literally. I think he'd probably get in trouble for painting that on. But nonetheless, we do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And we will see you all for the next one.